I'm going to share my screen. Well, I don't actually need to share my screen because we really need Brett to share his screen, but quickly to introduce Brett. Brett and I have worked together for quite some time, and he's doing some really exciting stuff around the Medique community, uplifting and ensuring sustainable, inclusive communities around game lodges. Brett, are you online? Are you with us? Are you good to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm here and I'm sharing now.
Awesome. And will you pin yourself as well so that you're front and center as you present? Thank you so much.
Can everybody see this slide that's in front of them anyway?
Yep.
So hi, everybody. My name's Brett Bowes. I'm a director of the Medique Futures Company. It's not my real job, but it's my absolute passion. I'm here to talk to you about using the power of latency to create jobs. Now, you may ask me, what the hell is latency? And how does latency create jobs? Well, latency is simply an unused store of potential for future use. For those of you who did science or physics at school, you'll know what I'm talking about. For those who didn't, just think about a fast-flowing river. Now, I'm not proposing that we build dams on every fast-flowing river, but a river dammed is a source of clean electricity. It also stores water for the irrigation of crops in the months that they need it. So the latent use of a river is to turn running water into electricity, jobs, food, and yes, even wine. And it's not a miracle. A different use of water. So to discover the power of latent energy in a system, and we're going to talk about the Medique system, we have to think of different ways to do what we currently do. In tourism, and I suspect in all industries, we have an opportunity to rethink the way that we do things, to use latent or unused opportunities with a dash of innovative thinking and an abundance mentality to create more just societies and more jobs. And that's what this discussion is all about. So let's first talk about Medique. It was created 30 years ago. We brought 8 failing cattle farms together and combined them into one farm. There were 87 people who were actually working on that farm. We fenced it, carried out what is still the biggest relocation of wild animals in human history to restore the ecology. And then we built 33 lodges to attract tourists. 30 years later, we've created 1,000 direct jobs for local villagers. But the work is far from complete. The primary challenge that we have is the high level of local unemployment in the 4 villages that surround us. Adults in those villages migrate to Gauteng or to the platinum mines to seek work. They leave dislocated families behind. The villages are populated largely by gogos who parent the rest of the population. And those people are mainly children under 25. So in spite of the fact that we've created 1,000 jobs and that there are only about 10,000 people in these 4 villages, most of them, we have a missing middle who have actually moved out of the area, and we have a massive need to create jobs. So we're using the latent power of the lodge supply chains to create the jobs in the villages, just by doing it differently, using the power of latency. The formula is this: we take 33 supply chains, we add them together, then we simply add technology, funding, mentoring, technical know-how, and of course a dash of water, and we stir. It's not as easy as that. Our innovation ingredients provide the latent energy of the supply chain. They are an understanding of abundance, open minds, time, access to grant and impact funders. Without them, we can't do anything. An alignment between the lodge owners, traditional leaders in the area, and the Northwest Parks Board. The first time we baked our cake, it was good, but it wasn't great. Persistence and continuous learning are absolutely key. So in terms of the outcome, our plan over the next year is to add another 500 new jobs in these villages, to grow 24 new SMEs, to draw parents back to our local villages and to their children. And we'll create wealth in these villages. And here's the kicker: it will also reduce poaching. Why? Because the villagers see their futures as more aligned to the future of the reserve. So instead of becoming the poacher's friend, they become the reserve's friend. The system also reduces costs for lodges and creates sticky tourists. And we have a huge number of tourists globally who actually prefer to come back to lodges who are integrated with community upliftment programs. So these sticky tourists will come back in greater numbers, and of course, they'll create bigger jobs and more jobs. The Medique supply chain is the key to this. If we take the 33 lodges and we add their supply chains together, it's worth about 240 million rand per annum. In the past, it's been spent with 70 odd safe major national suppliers. Those three are just 3 of the 70, but 3 of the biggest. This system creates no local jobs. It creates no local upliftment. It's expensive, and it borders, in my opinion, on the immoral. How can we take land that originally used to be owned and lived on by these people and by their ancestors, create a game reserve where 33 lodge owners do well and have villages around us in poverty? That's really the challenge. That has to change. So we asked the lodges whether they would buy local if reliability, quality, and pricing was assured. And then we asked them which of the following different kinds of things that are in their supply chain that they might actually buy. You'll see that eggs came out on top. Overwhelmingly, they said yes. All 33 lodges in this reserve have committed themselves to pushing their supply chains through local businesses. They even say that they'll pay COD for the service. So you see, if you appeal to businesses to help others, as long as it's neutral or positive for them in terms of profitability, they always say yes. So eggs were first on their list. Let's use them to illustrate our point. How would local egg supply affect job creation? How would it uplift local communities? What would be the price of eggs to lodges who support local egg producers? Okay, let's just have a look at this. First of all, counterintuitively, the price actually reduces from 2 Rand an egg to 1.70 Rand an egg. Lead times reduce. Egg sales from the community to lodges increase from the current of 9,000 eggs per annum to 2 million eggs per annum. I just want to repeat that. 9,000 eggs per annum to one lodge to 2 million eggs per annum in terms of the commitments that lodges have made. In addition, we create 2 new businesses and 16 new jobs. So that's an example of exactly what can be done when you combine the power of 33 supply chains and you actually apply the technologies that I'm about to show you to create a safe place for new businesses to start in the reserve. How do we do it? Firstly, we identify lodges that will support and then confirm demand per product. So not every lodge is going to buy the same amount of eggs. Not every lodge will buy into the fact that they're going to use a local electrician, but we know exactly which lodges, exactly how much they spend on each of these activities. And we've identified 27 different supply chains that can come through the local villages. Clearly, buying your Toyota is not going to come through the villages, but vegetables, chickens, venison, a whole bunch of things will. To guarantee the demand from these 33 lodges, all of whom are participating, then we select entrepreneurs, engage traditional leadership, gain their support, and establish governance for the system. And then what we've done is we've created an app to control ordering. So when a lodge wants something, it orders on the app. What it also does is it takes money out of their bank account into a safe place so that we can guarantee payment to the supplier. It's an automatic quality control system. It drives reliability, and it provides the accounting or last source grant funding for the establishment of these businesses, for the planning of the people, and we control the cash flow. Not really. It's actually complicated. You can see from the slide that's in front of you. But the power of latency is like the power of gravity. All you have to do is remove the block and it flows. And that's why latency is the theme of this discussion. I think that in every single one of your businesses, there are latent possibilities that are simply there. And if you don't think about them, and if you don't take action to unblock them, you're not going to improve your business, and you're not going to improve the lot of the community in which you do business. The power here is massive. 140 million of the 240, we're going to drive through local businesses. We'll create 500 new jobs. We'll create 24 new businesses. We'll decrease the level of poaching. We'll lower lodge costs. Mums and dads will come back to their kids. It's the kind of complicated that's worth working for, in our opinion. That's it. I'm happy.
That's totally amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And wow. If you weren't inspired by Lebo, and now by Brett, you need to see a doctor, because this is mind-blowing stuff. Moving on, we're on to the next panelist. Thanks so much, Brett. Shane, you're up next. Shane is going to talk to us about tokenizing nutrition for hydroponically produced fresh produce in sustainable communities.